YouTube. Hello, YouTube. We are live. Live from lockdown. I nearly forgot then. I can't believe I've done 9 of these streams. I don't even know how it became a thing, you know. Whoever's texting, if that's big game, I'll piss off because I haven't got my phone on silent. I don't even know how this became a thing, man. I started it over a week ago, and it seems to just be getting more and more popular. So thank you to everyone who's watching. Thank you, Jay. Big, massive thank you to you, Jay. Your gift arrived today. Thank you to Mr. Dainster. It said on the envelope. I've had a go, man. It's like a little Pac-Man clone in it. It's a really good game. So we're live from lockdown. I had the night off last night, so I hope you weren't too bored. So I've got a couple of guests. One of them needs to explain himself to why they wasn't live last night. So I'll introduce you first to Russ, Mr. RetroBear. Say hello.
Good evening, everybody. Hello, YouTube. How are you all? Hope you're very well this evening. And yes, apologies for last night.
Yeah, you know, this stream stepped aside for you guys to put that podcast up live.
I thought it might do, but I fell foul of British summertime again.
Well, it's been 2 weeks. Normally someone gets over it in a day. I know we're not going out.
I know, but I'm a bear, mate. I just come out of hibernation, and I'm completely all over the place. I've got absolutely no idea what's going on. Hopefully, next Sunday, I might get it right. I can't guarantee it.
Well, I won't ask what you do in the woods then if you're a bear.
I think you can work that out for yourself, mate.
Oh, yeah. Right, so we've got Russ, Mr. RetroBear. My next guest is very nervous. Be nice to him. He's a good guy. See, can we guess who it is? Say hello.
I recognise those hands anywhere.
You can't even see that. Hang a minute. Hairy arms. Is that better? Hello, all. Yes. Hello, everybody. Yes. I'm here. I can't believe it.
I know. Thank you for coming on, Rob. Do you mind if I call you Rob, or do you want me to call you?
No, please call me Rob. It's a lot bloody easier.
No,
just call him Dave and confuse everybody. It
was like yesterday when old Daz Cahodas Dolores was saying he had the most hardest name to pronounce on YouTube. I was like, hold my beer, hang on a minute. Look at mine.
You got the most difficult to spell. I'll give you that.
Oh, come on. I was going to say, if you know your football, you know how to pronounce it. If you don't, you're fucked, Because just blame a 10-year-old, me 10 years ago for creating an Xbox gamer tag where I thought it'd be cool to fuse my surname with a professional footballer I admired. And Ronaldinho became Gurnaldinho, and that's where we are today. And that's why the name's there, and I've sort of stayed loyal to it.
Cybersnake7 says RetroBear is the politest man on YouTube. I'd probably agree.
Absolutely.
I don't know. You just don't see the real side of me. It's just when the camera turns and I become all nice. I just just no idea. Off camera, a complete bastard, but that's it. You
even say bastard polite as well.
I know. Yeah, I've got to work out what. Yeah, shit.
Say you're only up the road from me. You talk a lot more polite than I do, and a lot more posh.
Well, I don't know where it comes from because I was born. Was it Stourbridge?
Yes, that's not far from there.
Right in the heart of the Black Country, sort of thing. So, the fact we aren't so far away from each other, and I'm apparently very posh and you're not. I've got no idea. So,
I'm from Brierley Hill. I was dragged up, not brought up.
Brierley. I said, well, we used to live in the first 2 years of my life. We used to live in Brierley Hill. I can't remember it, but yeah.
Was everything black and white back then?
Sepia, I think is probably the potty words for it, which is sort of somewhere between colour and black and white.
So can we clear up where you're from, Rob? Because I don't want to keep calling you a Cockney, and I know I do, and I know it massively offends you.
Well, I was born in London, but only just in a town called South Woodford. But I now live in a small town called Silverdraff in Hertfordshire, and I have done since my parents decided to move here when we was 14, and I moved out but stayed in Sorbo and lived in 3 different residences here, but got stuck and quite attached to the little town. So, yeah, that's where I am.
Quick question. I know Bear's not drinking, but I've got a nice pint of Batham's Best Bitter, which I'm sure Bear will be familiar with.
Oh, yes.
And what have you got then, Rob? Have you got the vodka on the go?
Yeah, but unfortunately, because we're locked down, the only thing I can really find to mix it with was Orange Lucozade, so we're going with that. But I'll tell you what, don't underestimate it. Don't underestimate it. It's really nice. I've actually poured 2 out, so when that one is empty, I got to go to the fridge. It's right next to me. I'm no amateur.
That was a full point 2 minutes ago, Rob.
It's talking to you that does it, mate.
Talking about Rob's name, how you combined yourself with a footballer. I did that years ago when I used to play football. I used to call myself Dainario, the Italian international, much like from Renford Rejects. Remember that guy from Renford Rejects who was Barry Grady?
I've heard of Renford Rejects, but I don't think I saw it. I thought you named yourself after Dane Bowers anyway.
No, you know what it is? My truth is my real name's Dana, which I've had 36 years of everyone pronouncing my name wrong. So I just say Dane because it's easier, and everyone when you introduce yourself to someone, you can say, "Oh, I'm Dane," and that's purely it. But because my parents actually offered me to change it by default, and I'm like, "Well, no, it's been my name this long now. I'm fucking all right with it," sort of thing. So anyway, enough about fucking me. Everyone's heard me loads and loads of nights. Let's start with RetroBear. How's lockdown treating you? I know you have covered it on your channel, but just imagine that we haven't got the same viewers.
Well, lockdown for me technically isn't happening, so I'm having to go to work every single day. Because of the work we do in our business, we're still providing frontline services for aerial repairs, electrical repairs, white goods repairs, and we have contracts in the housing association and care home industry, so we've got to carry on. Although we've had to obviously furlough quite a few of our admin staff and some of our engineers, we've still got about 15 of us still there at the moment. So it's not really happened for me. Everybody else is enjoying, I say enjoying this time, it's probably not the right thing to say, but everyone else has got this time off, and I'm still having to work through, and I've still got to go in because I can't work from home.
Yeah, my missus having to work from home. So how about you, Rob?
I'm the other extreme. I've got laid off for 30 days on April the 25th. Sorry, not April. We're March 25th. And I'm not due back till the 22nd of the month now. And basically, I work in aviation on the passenger side. So as you can imagine, things are pretty much stopped dead. And we were looking like, we need some workers. And then the biggest contract we have just basically announced that they weren't flying until the end of June. And when they all pulled us in and that got said, there was like a collective gasp. And they said, yeah, you're all being laid off for 30 days. So, I mean, they say I'm back on April 22nd, but can you see it getting that much better by then? So the government can pay us out for up to 3 months. So I can see it being extended. So it's a little bit worrying times for me, but the company does want to survive. So, fingers crossed. Yeah,
it's the same with us. They've had to take the same measures, and the new work coming in isn't enough for a full team. But, I can't see this returning to normal anytime within the next couple of months. Unfortunately, it's going to be a long haul.
I was going to say, I'm just blessed that I've got the hobby that we all have, and I have actually got like 1,000 games around me, and the ability to make YouTube and watch YouTube as well. And I mean, yeah, it really has saved me, really has, from boredom.
Dylan said he wonders if the flights will be back on by August. Now, I've read today in the Daily Mail that they're telling people to cancel their holidays now, which is worrying for me. I've not left the country in 12 years, and I've booked a holiday this year. Beginning of July. So I'm probably not going to go for 13 years now, am I?
I think it's looking unlikely. I
mean, one of our biggest customers in volume says they want to start on May the 1st, and that's a Turkish airline. Can't see it. Again, can't see it. Like, we're all talking about all the events being cancelled, but, I'm just fingers crossed that the Donny in Dead December can still go ahead. That's how far ahead I'm looking. I think that might be the next one if we're lucky. I really do.
Craig Turner was on here the other day, weren't he? Because Revival, the second one's meant to be in November. And he confirmed on here, even if he has to change the date, he can put Revival on at the drop of a hat. So at least that could be something for us all to look forward to the end of the year, if that's what it comes to.
That's it. But
I'd love to do Revival.
I'm beginning to doubt whether Birmingham will be on now in July. I think it.
I don't think it will.
I don't think it will be, Matt. I don't think it will. I think Rob.
I was just about to say we was lucky to go to London because it hadn't properly been kicked off by then. It was literally the day before. It all went to shit.
But I think when they've cancelled Wimbledon, I'm not particularly bothered about Wimbledon, but they've cancelled that, and they've cancelled the Open Golf in July today. They're cancelling 4 months in advance.
Well, I watched WrestleMania behind closed doors over 2 nights.
And
it was fucking terrible.
It was weird.
What?
Oh, mate, that Firefly Funhouse was fucking awesome. Come on, man.
No,
that was brilliant.
Weird. That was weird.
Yeah, but it was brilliant TV. It wasn't a live event, but it was brilliant TV. I fucking loved it.
But even if I was still watching it, which I'm not, I couldn't have got my head around that WrestleMania behind closed doors. You know, I was brought up on WrestleMania in front of 70,000 people at the Sky Dome.
The way I looked at it, I went on Twitter and a few people were slagging it, going, not watching it, should have postponed it. But at the end of the day, they've probably all been cleared to do it safely. They've done it over 2 nights for, 3 or 4 hours in prime time America. So they're entertaining people, keeping them at home when there's several dickheads who just keep going out wandering still. So as long as it was safe, which I'm sure they all were because they're obviously fucking basically hugging each other, then it should have gone ahead like it did. And I think for what they had, I think they did really well. And I actually really enjoyed most of it. There's always a shit match here and there, but I enjoyed most of it.
Now, Dylan's mentioned something here that actually gave me an idea yesterday. Aren't the Olympics cancelled? And I was thinking we could do a YouTube Olympics because I'm sure we've all got track and field on the PS1. All pick a nation, and you've got to do the one event per day, like the 100 meters, and rack up a score for your nation. We could do a YouTube's Olympic. I'm throwing that out there.
I'm pretty sure I've got that.
Checking.
I'm checking. Yeah.
I bought that at the last London Gaming Markets. I've only just about got it.
I used to know all the techniques, so you could get faster times and stuff like that. I know you don't like competitive gaming, but I grew up with an elder brother. I only know competitive gaming. In fact, I've got it here. International track and field. This is the one.
Yeah, the same one.
Yeah.
I reckon we do a YouTube Olympics. In fact, if there can be somewhere like Gambia, that will be my country. I want the most obscure country to try and win all the medals.
Tanganyika.
Where is that? Come on.
I don't know. I've just heard of it. It's,
Vanuatu.
What?
Vanuatu.
Doesn't he play for Spurs?
Used to.
I don't know, but I've just realised how unintelligent I am on this stream. I'm down to third at the moment.
You're beyond me. That's bad enough.
While we're talking about YouTube, we'll start with RetroBear. I'll start with RetroBear because he's to my left.
That's fine.
And then we'll go down to you, Rob. Plus, I know it takes you 15 minutes to think about what you're going to say. Story of YouTube, Russ, how you started, because I know you started a long time ago. Was it a different place, just your journey of YouTube, really, and how you found it second time round?
Well, I first started in 2011. Ironically, I think it's probably about 9 years ago to this month. And I was going through my Commodore 64, so I picked up a couple of Commodore 64s quite cheap, and I was playing them, and Mrs. Bear thought, why don't you put those on YouTube? You know, people love to see those sort of things. So I did for about 2 weeks, put some videos on there, and then completely lost interest, or other circumstances, which I'm not going to go into now. And I just forgot about it. And then I think I was started probably 2016, 2017. I started watching YouTube again. I was used to watching the car boot videos. Rich King Retro was probably the one I sort of watched the most at the time. And the old stuff on there. I was sort of following those all the way through, and James collects as well, the car. I was really getting into those sort of things. And again, Mrs. Bear says, you could do that. Do what? So you could sit in front of the camera and show your games off and do all that. And believe it or not, it took another 18 months for me to actually get everything set up and done, because I bought all the equipment. I bought the microphone and all the bits and pieces in 2017. It still took me another 9 months to get the channel up and running again. I know it was that long ago because we still had our dog, and she's been gone 3 years this May. So, and I remember sort of testing this out with her in the lounge. But yeah, and then all of a sudden, it just thought, okay, I can do this and have a go. And it's been a bloody long slog, I've got to be honest, because first sort of 8 months or so up until the end of 2018, nobody was watching. Nobody was watching at all. And then all of a sudden, it just sort of started to go up. And March last year, I got to 100 subscribers. And it's just sort of got to YouTube of the month last year and onwards and upwards. And it's been brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
I think, like yourself, I found a couple of channels last night, actually, who have been obviously slogging for the last 9 months. They got 17 subs. One's a local lad to us, the Viking Gamer or something like that. I will do a video. But he's a local lad to us, and I only found him because he posted on Instagram about Nick's shop in Housedome, Vintage Gamer.
Oh, so, yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if it's to do with the YouTube algorithm where they don't really give a shit about people at the bottom. Or I always think I was lucky when I first come in because obviously I knew Ant Harper. He got me to do my channel, and I put myself out there a little bit, and I just searched UK YouTubers or UK car booters, and probably one of the first people I come across was Tootie UK. He gave me a shout out. Gruss Newton did. I used to hang out in Carl Woodland 37 or something like that. His streams, and people just started to know. You only need that one person to mention you. Like, you know, every time Tootie recommends someone, I will always go and look out for them. And same with everyone now. I'll no matter who the channel is, I will always go and look. And if they're my cup of tea, like you was, Russ, I'll support them, and then I will shout them out. That's why I've bought. I'm not saying I've bought shout outs back, but I'm trying to promote it more because I remember how important that was for my channel when I first started.
Well, last year, probably about March time, I was trying to find something different to do, so I started doing the shout outs. And there was a little flurry at that time. There we did a few video responses as well. Quite a few people got involved in that. And I always used to sort of look through channels that were new starting and just try and watch their channel and see if they would grow. Because the way I started, it was just keep going and keep going and keep going. Eventually, something happened and people noticed and they started commenting on my videos, and then they put sort of do a shout out, and I'd return the favour if I hadn't done it already, or I'd look for new channels. And I mean, Rob will tell that story about, I was the first person to give him a shout out, which is how we sort of got, affiliated from there. So.
Right, well, I think that's a great way to key Rob into his YouTube journey then there.
Yeah, to be honest with you, I actually totally started off in what was meant to be a different direction. And to be honest with you, it was the best thing that ever happened, to be honest, totally. But yeah, I mean, I've got stuff that predates it, but I started on January 2019. And as people know, I love me Xbox, I love me achievement hunting. And I thought, do you know what? I'm really into it. I'll try and become part of the achievement hunting community, and I'll start an achievement channel. Now, that is why the Journey to 1 Million Gamer Score series exists. And because it's always been there since day one, and it means something to me, I want to keep it going. And then it was just like, I have been watching YouTube for years. I mean, I've got stuff that predates it. It was all little test stuff to get into sort of uploading regularly. And I even done achievement guides without audio and read description here and shit like that before I even bought any of the gear. I mean, I still just work off my phone with a headset, I'm a proper amateur. But yeah, I was watching all the other stuff. I mean, some of the early channels I was I do like all the ones that go around boot sales, and I think the first channel I was watching was actually Holster that did that. And then I found people, like Lewis and Game Boys Are Awesome through that. And then, I saw this deal on Spock basically for a load of Xbox 360 games. There was 41 of them for 50 quid. None of them were sports titles. And I picked it up and I thought, all these people I've been watching doing pickups videos, they would pick up this lot and make one out of it, and I'm sure it'd be really good. I'll have a go. And I did one of those, and it didn't get much attention. And then I thought, I went to the London gaming market, the very first I went to back in March 2019, and I thought, I'll do a pickups video of that, and I did. And then lo and behold, some bloke up here, called RetroBear, subscribed to my channel, and he's one of those people that doesn't hide it. So if you don't do that, I'll always check your channel, especially a game. I looked at it, started watching it, and I thought, oh, great, he does pickups as well. Started watching it, and then fucking hell, lo and behold, he said he was doing shout-outs, and I thought, all of a sudden, I thought, is he shouting me out? Is he fucking shouting me out? And all of a sudden, he said my name. I was getting nervous, and I was in my own home watching it on TV, pre-recorded, and it was just like, I got a shout-out, a few more people picked us up, and I thought, do you know what, I do this, I collect, I buy the Xbox, I'll do this now. And basically, it really has just snowballed from there into what it has now. And there's also another little story, which I don't think I've told many people, was somebody outside of the YouTube community, when I told them I was doing YouTube, said to me, if you want to make it on YouTube, not that I'm trying to be famous or anything like that, hello, I'd appear here, but they said to me, you'll never do anything if you don't appear on camera. And it just drove me on to actually do it and say, fuck you, I'm going to give this a go. This is my hobby, this is what I want to do. I don't want to be famous. I just want to show my games off. Hopefully, a few people will come to me. Everyone's a winner. And
no one gets famous from it. No one gets famous from doing this.
I had no idea I'd get where I am now. It's mental. Honestly, I still don't believe it. I still believe only 2 people watch my videos, despite the viewing figures are there. It's just how I am. So every time someone new shouts me out, it's kind of like they've accepted me without really seeing my face. And that is why this community can be awesome, because they don't need to see you sometimes. And in fact, out of a group of 5 people, you're still the only one not to see me, aren't you, Bear?
Yes, that's right. Yeah, I've not seen you at all.
He has.
Dangerous, yeah.
Yeah, I heard the reason you won't reveal yourself is actually because you were Brad Pitt's stunt double in Snatch. Can you confirm that is true?
No, that's not true. It's Chris Hemsworth, mate.
Oh.
Chris Hemsworth.
Wrong one.
I thought that was whose body double you played.
Oh, sorry, yeah. I see where you're getting going. But no. Do you know what? I always said one day that I would go on camera, but I just decided, you know what? It's my thing now.
You got to have a gimmick. You got to have a gimmick.
I don't want it to be a gimmick, but it is my thing, and it's what I'm comfortable with. And I'll tell you what, I think if I went on camera, it would be totally different, and I wouldn't like it. I wouldn't enjoy it. So, you know, like I said, I don't want to be recognised out in public because of the whole social anxiety thing. So I'm quite happy to introduce myself to YouTubers I like, know, trust, like you guys. Sorry, Bear, it will happen. And have you guys just have you guys recognise me and say, "Oh, hello, Rob, how you doing?" Like Donnie was an absolute fucking blast. You know, I really shouldn't have enjoyed that as much as I did, surprising everybody. But you know, I had to do that. I had to.
Well, I once did what you did, Rob. I told everyone on YouTube. I had the piss took out of me saying I wasn't allowed to go to Blackpool the one year. And only my mate Liam, who I always talk about, who doesn't do YouTube, an old school variety face, knew I was actually going. And I just turned up and surprised everyone. And it was just brilliant, man. Like, because they were expecting me not to be there. And then I turned up. But, like, obviously, I can't hide from no one because everyone fucking knows who I am with my stupid shaved head and ponytail. But the fact that, like, Stu was the worst because we were doing streams at the time and he was telling everyone, oh, Diana's not allowed to go to Blackpool. And I was just sat there thinking, you're going to be in for one hell of a shock when I fucking turn up. And we had a good time, like we did at Doncaster, you know, when we were all stood around my table, Rob. It was brilliant. Like everyone just...
That was... I'll tell you what, some of...
Until Pete come and fucked everything up. Pete was smashing my table up.
I mean, some of the reactions I've got, a couple of them were private. I still think Eddie is saying, I can't believe you're here now. He literally said it. He said it to me about 50 times on the day. It was funny. But, yeah, I've already told this story. So my favourite reaction... Yeah, please spell Gurney right, Al. My favourite reaction is what's your name? Planet Retro, Big Game Hours. When we was at your store and he'd just come over. Like loads of people hadn't clocked the voice, you know. And I'd done the old arms thing. I literally said one word in front of Al. He was looking at the ground at the time, and his head popped up like a dog had smelled fresh sausages coming out of the oven. You know, he just recognised it instantly. It was like, I know that voice. But no, it was brilliant. I must admit, yeah, I did, you know, have a little bit of fun with it. But all I wanted to do was surprise basically Eddie, Sean, and Pete and Nath. And I had no idea that everybody else would kind of be surprised as much as they were as well. And yeah, but the comments were lovely. And the mentions in the videos from yourself, from Tootie, and people like that. Yeah, honestly, mate, I'm genuinely touched.
Yeah, I do actually owe Tootie an apology because Cinny Steve just put it in the chat and he said, you know, Tootie got very famous from doing this. What I really want to sort of say was becoming famous on YouTube now is probably going to be an awful lot harder than it was before. And if anybody's trying to get into it for that, it's going to be a real sort of long slog to do it. And you know, it's much better when it's kept at this level where we're doing a hobby and we're sharing it with the same people who are enjoying these sort of things. People are going to appreciate that, you know, better than anybody else.
Yeah,
I'll agree with you there, man. Like when I get 30 odd in this stream, which is the most, that's more than enough, man. I can manage that. I wouldn't want to be one of these people who become disconnected from what they're doing because it becomes too big. If you know what I'm saying there, like, you know, some of the big channels who's like, you know, they have to have other people managing their comments. I like to be able to read and interact with everyone. I like to reply to every comment. Unless it's from a fucking troll, then I probably won't reply. I'm not famous. I mean, you're infamous.
Infamous, yeah. The infamous Tootie UK.
Best thing about... Hang on, let me get Lee. Lee's actually here tonight. His missus must have let him watch. He's a new mate I know have for the meetups. I mean, Lee's one of them who I personally enjoy going out drinking with. He's a good laugh. Him and Russ do as well. I go as much for the social as I do for probably more for the social than video games there.
But that's a good thing about it, isn't it? That's a good thing about it. I mean go on,
sorry. I was going to say I only briefly met you at Birmingham Market and it was good to chat. It would be good to have you at one of the ones where it's not just a market where there's other stuff to do sort of thing.
Yeah, I mean, that's my goal to do it. And, you know, for circumstances beyond my control, I'd have been there in March, wasn't it, I think? But
I
You know.
just saw what Rob threw in his
I was
picture.
gonna say you bloody clocked that, yeah.
Yeah. See, I watch the comments. I trust you two not to be calling me a wanker on screen or something while I'm looking down at the comments.
Every time you look down, mate, it's all this. Yeah, have that.
That's all right. While we're on, because I know it's your big, not I want to say bugbear, Rob, that you feel you can't be nominated for YouTuber of the Month because you don't appear on camera. Now, my understanding of the rule is you probably could because it's an on-screen presence. Now, the reason they say an on-screen presence, I think what they don't want is the people who do Call of Duty videos or people who just do gameplay videos and don't really talk. What you you come across as a person, if you know what I mean. I mean, I don't know how RetroBear feels if we have his, and then I'll let you have your little rant, Rob.
I'm ready to go.
Go on, Rob. You carry on then, mate. Go on.
No, it's do you know the silly thing about it is, to be honest with you, with the anxiety I have, I really don't want to be nominated anyway. But it's just the fact that I can't, even though I think what I do kind of deserves it a little bit. I get where people are with the gameplay videos. The type of videos I hate. I mean, I do gameplay videos, you know, but I hate the ones where people just record like an hour and a half, upload it to like, I don't know, whatever game, Call of Duty Modern Warfare Part 1. And that's all the title will say, and it's just an hour and a half a campaign. And I'm just like, who wants to watch that? You know, I love a gameplay video if the person is actually commentating. I don't want to see perfection either. I'd rather see people screw up and swear and naturally act and stuff like that. But yeah, there is a line between the presence thing, and you can still have an on-screen presence without being on screen, if you see what I mean, facially. But you know, if you do pickups and you do, you know, gameplays with your voices, you comment, and you know, actually say something in your gameplay videos, then I think it's worthy enough. But you know, at the same time, I can see why they're doing it. It's, you know what I mean, it's grey area. It really is at times.
Mm.
I personally think you could be up, and Wooly Weeble, but I don't know how he'd get on with doing his orange if he won. But although he's just writing and not talking, I think he could be up because it's showing personality.
Yeah, it's completely different. I don't know anybody else who's doing anything like that. I mean, it's original. You know, why would you not include someone at that point?
We've got an actual statement from a previous host of YouTuber of the Month, Mr. Tutti UK, and he's pretty much affirmed what I said.
Yeah.
And I think it's also, you know, like people who do, you know, who just do like, say, top 10s, and they just show that video of top 10s without really doing anything. Yeah,
it's someone who does variety, basically. You know.
Yeah, you know, someone whose personality shines through as well as the content. In fact, personality for me should always be better than the content, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think you're right with that.
You know, you can watch some fantastic gameplay and some bad gameplay, but if the person sounds dull, you're going to switch off, aren't you? You know, so, yeah.
But, go on, Ben.
I mean, I was fortunate enough to win it, and, you know, I'm just an ordinary bloke just showing bits of plastic tap every week or every few days or so to people, and some people like that sort of thing. But, I agree that you've got to have some limitations in place as what you can include and you can't include, but you've got to take each YouTuber at their own content. If you look at Rob's content, then why on earth would he not be considered for it just because he doesn't happen to be on camera? I mean, he's brilliant at what he does. He comes up with some fantastically good ideas. I'm not saying to blow smoke up your arse, mate, but you know what I mean. You
some of the best bollocks I've heard.
You are.
You talk some of the best bollocks that I've heard.
It's a gift.
But you know, he does come up with some really, really good ideas, and I think because he doesn't happen to be on camera, I can't go along with that.
I would throw it out there again, not to blow smoke up your arse, Rob, but you probably get more YouTubers involved in making videos for the community than anyone else with your VR responses and stuff like that, with your 5 lives and your not played for 10 years.
First time, never played, or whatever it is.
Yeah. Well, in all honesty, the first series actually started off with a little bit of an accident. That Ridge Racer, which is the very first one in the first time in over 10 years, was me genuinely playing it for the first time, but testing out recording gameplay on my phone in front of the TV on a stand. And obviously, I messaged it to a group of guys and said, "Look, I've done this. I wonder if it's any good. Listening to my reactions. Some people may find funny." And yeah, they said upload it, so I did, and they found it funny. But I didn't even ask people to respond to it to start with. They just did. I think Eddie did it first. Big Mike, without further ado, Retro, he did it, and just some other people I just didn't expect to do it, did it. And I was just like, then the cogs started turning. And I was like, I mean, it's a bugbear a little bit to me because I've got all these games sitting on the shelf that I want to get cracking on with, but because it has to be my first effort recorded, genuinely, I have to leave it there until I'm ready to pull it for this series, which is why I'm absolutely so pleased I finally pulled Tekken 3. I really am. Finally done that. But yeah, and then the Fighting with Five Lives, just another idea that popped into my head because I love side-scrolling beat-em-ups. I thought there's got to be a way we can do this with side-scrolling beat-em-ups, and a lot of those are, if you stick to the well-known ones, they're readily available to most people, which is why you've had Streets of Rage, Golden Axe, because they're on all these compilations. Turtles Arcade was a little bit obscure, but it's not too hard to get hold of, and things like that. But I love it when people do it on different platforms as well. Don't think just because I've done Golden Axe on the Mega Drive, fuck it, whip out the Master System copy if that's all you got. Show us the Master System copy. Have a go with that, But yeah, it's just like VR. People are saying VR is a little bit dead, and I don't want it to be. So, it was just my idea.
Yeah, I think the great thing about that series is you're actually picking games that some of us perhaps haven't played for ages or never played before. I mean, the Porsche Challenge one you did, I'd never played that game before. I've had it for years, and then played it the once. It was absolutely brilliant. It was. Oh,
I loved it back in the day. Yeah.
And then ISS 98 as well.
Yeah.
So many memories playing that game. It's a fantastic idea. And I've got to say thank again to Carl for sending me a copy to the post because I hadn't got one and I wanted to join in, and he managed to get me a loose copy. So.
Well, that's the other thing. What's great about it is people are sharing them as well. I know, Big Game House sent Carl a copy of Togger so he could do it, and things like that. But that's silly. I just want to get people involved. At the moment, I'm worried about because I've got the time. I'm thinking maybe people have got time. Maybe I should put them out a little bit more frequently at the moment, to giving everyone something to do. But at the same time, I don't like pushing it. That's why I leave it a good couple of weeks before I do another one or so. But it's hard getting the balance right. But I am trying.
What I'd say is when I first started YouTube, one of the other ways I reached out to other channels was I did do Nova Bugs like Friday Foursomes that he's brought back, which I'm glad he has. So I think that's a bit more of his roots of his channel. I used to do VR responses when people used to ask questions like I think one of the classics was play 3 random games. I think that was the Retro Heads who were Team Chav at the time. And I closed my eyes and picked 3 random games off the shelf. One of them was Rise of the Robots on the SNES, which was a really crap game. And I'm sure one of them was a Mega Drive game, a puzzle game that was really crap as well. But stuff like that, just get involved, get people, get people involved in the community. And that's what I think. Someone like yourself, Rob, who isn't just a pair of hands talking about pickups, who is more active in the community, there is no reason why you shouldn't be up for YouTube of the month at some point. And I definitely think it's probably on the cards.
Absolutely agree on that.
Later.
100%.
Rule has to change first, and that's a long way away. So
we're embarrassing him now.
Yeah, you're a little bit.
He goes on about that he can't be up for it, and then he says, "I don't actually want to win it."
Yeah, it's
no point being in it if you don't want to win it.
We can tell you're embarrassed because your hands are blushing.
They've come off screen. They'll get all sweaty.
But no, I definitely think that rule. Well, it doesn't even need changing. It just depends how people interpret it. Maybe if you've got the people who are hosts at the moment, they won't accept it. But if there was a new host, I'm pretty sure they would, and we'd force it down their throats until they did. To be honest, but that's enough about that because I don't want to get involved in something that I could get involved in today because I have been annoyed by YouTube of the month and I don't want to talk about it. But I might do at the end when you two are gone. You two aren't dragged into it. That's all.
That's all right.
That's causing controversy. I just don't like dragging others down with me. So we'll move on to my other favourite question. I seem to like to ask. Rob, you're going to have to get a second this. I know it's going to take 3 years for you to read it. Your gaming history. I mean, Bears, yours probably goes back to the invention of the microchip. Without me being too rude, maybe
the invention of the wheel. I thought you were going to say then. No, that's okay.
No, dinosaurs.
Possibly, yeah. Turkey dinosaurs. No, Atari 2600 was my first one.
You said that, I'm surprised because I didn't think that sold that well in the UK, but there's a lot of people who've said they had it as their first.
Well, I think my mum and dad got it on the cheap, but it was the only one that we had when we were younger. I mean, you'll know this. The Saver Centre. Remember the Saver Centre? Yeah. Well, they used to, years and years ago, they used to have loads of Atari games in there. Early 80s, I remember going there and just getting stackfuls of 2600 games for there. And that was the first one we had. And the only computer that we had, console or gaming thing, up until I was 14. And then we had the Amiga 500 Batman pack, which is... 3 cracking games came with that. Batman the movie, New Zealand Story, and F-18 Interceptor. And then after that, I bought a Mega Drive second-hand when I was at college with a load of games, which, if anyone's listened to the podcast, I think it was episode 3, I told them the sad story of how it all got traded in for SmackDown and Spice World on the PlayStation 1. So I'm not exactly happy about. And then after that, there was a long, long gap. And then all of a sudden, about 2009, I started buying old consoles that I'd never played on before of my own. I'd played on them at other people's houses, and I just started my collection from there. But the Amiga probably was my first real proper computer. But I said the first thing we really had was 2600.
Do you have any 2600 stuff now, Bear?
I have Combat and Space Invaders and the console, which is here. I can't get it out because I'll have to move everything out of the way. But yeah, so I've still got one of those. Somebody bought that for my birthday 5, 6, 7 years ago, something like that. I'll get so many good things that people have bought me over the years. Commodore 64 was had for Christmas 2009. Mother-in-law bought it for me.
Nice. To be fair, I'll start leaving all the Atari 2600 then I'll find at the boot sale in case you're wandering around after.
That's it, yeah. I could do with boosting the collection a little bit because there's some great games and some great games on there.
Yard's Revenge,
yeah.
Yard's Revenge is a very good game.
Frostbite as well. I used to be absolutely bionic on Frostbite when I was like 8 years old. Just literally, when people talk about you being zombified, just sort of sitting there moving the controller around. That was me. That was me on Frostbite, going bang, 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 up and down, up and down, up and down. Great times.
I want to get Hero. They had a copy of Hero in the Warsaw cash converters for ages, boxed. And I kept tumming and ahhing about it, and when I went to eventually buy it, they'd all gone. But I had asked the manager to ring me because they got a pile like this. And I didn't just want to buy one. I wanted to buy them as a job lot. And I left my number and everything, and he never rung me back, the bastard.
Cause I remember a friend, because my mum and dad's friends had a 2600 as well, so they were always getting probably better games than we had. But Hero was one of those. We were playing on that. Keystone Capers. I think they had Sky Skipper as well. Or was it Sky? Yeah, I think it was Sky Skipper. They had a really sort of early version of that, something called Kangaroo, which was completely ludicrous beyond belief. But yeah, so many games we used to swap between the two of us. It was just great fun.
Nice. So, Russ, you might want to go and make yourself a coffee now, or light up your pipe. Rob, your gaming history.
It's not that bad. No, well, my starting to getting into gaming was actually quite tough because I had parents that insisted that I would play outside, and to be honest, I love them for it. I wouldn't take that back. But at the same time, I really wanted. I kind of got into gaming originally because Mum and Dad used to have a fixed caravan which they owned for about 2 or 3 years, and one day they walked into an arcade. My eyes just lit up. I just loved everything around me, sights and noises. And as a typical young child, I loved monsters and destruction. And lo and behold, in that arcade, I turned around and there was this game called Rampage, which you could be a monster and destroy buildings. And that was it. It was like, Mum, Dad, I have to have a go, which they let me have a go. And every time we went to our caravan that was fixed, I would want to go to the arcade. I'd want to play that machine. And from there, it's just like I started trying other things, and I really enjoyed it. But for years and years after that got sold, we still went on holidays around the UK, and everything was getting into an arcade as soon as I could finding one. And I had a lot of trouble with that, obviously, because we'd only go on 3 holidays a year sort of within the UK. And it was quite funny because everywhere we went, if it was one we'd been to before, I knew the arcade, what machines they had, where they were. One of them had a fucking horrible little arcade, had 3 machines in it. But one of them was Michael Jackson's Moonwalker, the isometric beat 'em up. Does anyone remember that?
I've never played on it, but
Yeah.
I remember seeing footage. It's like, oh, did you?
His attack was like a small fireball out of one arm, wasn't it? And then if you held it down, you charge it, and it'd go out a bit longer. But anyway, so tangent. So we got on Bear. But yeah, so for years I'd go arcades, and when we were on a holiday, it was like, oh, we'll go out for the weekend. Where should we go? I'd be like, Southend on Sea. You know, I just wanted to get to an arcade. So eventually, middle ground, I talked them into it. They said, okay, meet you in the middle. You're in a nice little shit in a car. It's basically where they were going with this. We'll get you a handheld. So yeah, I had a choice between a Game Gear and a Game Boy. I loved the colour. I loved Sonic. So that was it. I had to have a Game Gear. But again, from there, eventually, talked them into getting a home console, got a Mega Drive. And I had that Mega Drive well into the PlayStation 1 era because I loved it so much. I mean, I had all these games which I played over and over again. Bomberman, that FIFA there, that Street Fighter there. They are all my original ones from back in the day as well. And eventually it was like, well, I've got to get something different now. So over to the PS1. And then after the PS1, it, you know, again, the arcade scene was always a thing for me. Where I was going to college, there was a Sega park they put up for 2 years. You know, I fucking missed lessons because of that place and spent every lunchtime there. And then the Dreamcast was out, and I got that a year into its lifespan as well. And I'll argue anybody with this, but it has the best arcade ports of any system. You know, Crazy Taxi, Virtua Striker 2, which I have a huge unhealthy admiration for, Virtua Tennis, Soul Calibur, Power Stone, things like that. But again,
Sega
I had
Bass
that.
Challenge. Sega Bass Challenge.
I bought that as well. That's Sega Bass Fishing as well. But yeah, I played that.
You need the rod.
Didn't have the rod, but you know, I loved that machine in the arcade with the string that pulled at each side. That was fucking awesome. But yeah, I literally played that to death. One day it made the noise of spinning up a disc and then stopped and never spun a disc again. And from there, I actually went a couple of months without something because I didn't know what to do next. And then I went round to mates. He had an Xbox 360. We played PES 2010 of all games, game against each other. I had that little pop come up the bottom, and I went, "What's that?" He says, "Oh, that's an achievement," and that was it. I got hooked to that. It's a dimension to gaming that I've got hooked on, and then I've had the 360, I've had the One, and I'm waiting for the Series X. And that is it. I started as an arcade kid and fought my way basically out of there to my parents to get me something. But I love it. I still love the arcades now.
Talking about achievements, I don't know if I've ever shown it on this channel. I was best man for my mate probably 4 years ago now. And he got me, like, you know, the little achievement, like, logo as a certificate saying best man. You just saying that made me think about that. I was thinking we ought to get Rob one. Fucking, I don't know.
There was a part. I haven't got one. There was a party where they had a box of things. Like, you go in the little photo booth and you take things with you. And one of them was actually an achievement unlock placard saying "You're drunk" at the bottom, 100G. There's a photo of one of my phones somewhere. I have still got that photo. But yeah. No,
I was just going to say we need to see it on the channel, but I'm guessing we can't.
Yeah, technical difficulties, eh, Bear? That's what's going on.
Yeah. It works for me, mate. Don't worry about that. Yeah.
There's always technical difficulties here. Normally when I've messed someone up, I'll just blame it on someone else. So, I was going to move on to that, being as we were talking about technical difficulties and the TMB. Talk us about the TMB and your little, I don't want to say group because I don't like, there is internal groups because obviously I'm in little WhatsApp chats and that, but your little group of YouTubers, I'm guessing you all started and discovered each other at the same time. Just talk about yourselves as a collective. I know I had Eddie on last night.
I'll say a little something about that because you must know this as well, Bear. That first shout-out video that I mentioned earlier that I was in, we was all in it. Yeah. And we'd all started around about the same time or started again around about the same time. And it was just a sort of a six-way friendship that clicked, wasn't it, really, from the off?
It was because I think the group had started anyway. I think you and me the last two that came into it, weren't we?
Yeah, well, I got put into it and then flipped out because I don't like being added to things without being told. And then I settled. You give me a couple of days, I settled down and went, yeah, I'll be fine with it.
But yeah, it was just the six of us had sort of clicked, and I think it became because, as Rob said, the shout out that went out and included them all together, and we just sort of meshed. You know, when sort of people get together. I mean, bear in mind that I've never met any of the other five guys personally, but we get, you know, if you listen to the podcast and whatever, we get on so well. It's like we've been mates for ages, and we can have a little chat on the WhatsApp, probably like you do, Dana, and you just click with people, and it's like we've been friends for a long, long time. So it sounds a bit sort of strange, really, but it's great as well. We've come together to love a gaming through a shout out, which brought everybody together, and we're just having a lot of fun with it.
Yeah, as I say, the podcast as well. It's we like to think ours is a little bit different from all the, you get all these other ones. They ask a question, they pause, the other person gives a prim and proper answer, and that we're like we are now. We're just having banter throughout, and then we'll start a subject, we'll go off in a completely other direction. We'll take the piss out. I mean, there was it's episode 3, like the old your mum joke came out, didn't it, as well? Yes. We all had a laugh. Like, we don't give a fuck. We just want to, we don't want to do the prim and proper thing that everybody else does. We just want to have fun, and hopefully people can have fun listening to us at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, believe it or not, there is a format to it, but we sort of as we've done tonight, have a quick chat beforehand and just sort of have a few pointers and say, right, we'll talk about this, and then we just end up talking about it, but go sort of round the whole yard and then come back in at the very end and get back onto it. So, sometimes the tangents are really fun to do, but it's the same in chat, and it'll be the same when we all get in the same room together and actually sort of meet each other the first time. We'll be doing exactly the same stuff we're doing in chat. It's great. I'd never honestly believed that 6 people who've never been in the room together, you get on so well.
I was going to say, I didn't even set off on this direction as well.
Yeah.
As well, that's what I mean. It's just, I don't want to use the whole fate bollocks. That sort of thing winds me up when people use that word. But it's hard to explain it otherwise. It really is.
Yeah, it's brilliant. It really is. I wouldn't change it for anything. So, and then we're not, we don't sort of class ourselves as a little group over here out the way, a little clique or anything like that. It's just 6 blokes who like gaming.
Don't worry, I won't ever let you become that anyway. Because if you haven't noticed, I'm the fucker who tries to drag everyone together and make you all talk. That's what I do over here. That's my mission, is to keep just everyone who's all right, who in an arsehole, who has a good laugh, has a good banter. I've made a lot of good friends over YouTube, and I wouldn't want to see any little cliques here, there, and everywhere. I'd rather everyone just go on. We all had a good laugh.
Exactly. I mean, that's the thing about it. If it became anything like that, we wouldn't want to be doing it. And I don't want anybody else to sort of look at it and think, well, there's us 6 over here doing our thing, and therefore I need to go off and do this with other people. God, no, you don't do that at all. You don't do that at all. We're not like that. We're not like that.
We try and actually bring other people in and give other people a shout outs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So we're actually, trying to get more involved if we can.
Don't add me to your WhatsApp group. I get added to WhatsApp groups, and I just find it as a new way to take the piss out of people. It's just the way I am.
You'll fit right in then. But that's it's brilliant. It really is, and it's been about what was it, July last year, Rob? We got July last year sometime.
Yeah, July, I believe. Yeah.
So again, it's only been sort of like 6-9 months, something like that, if that.
Yeah.
And we sort of grown through word of mouth. People now sort of want to know what TNB is and what isn't.
Well, they brought it up. I wasn't going to bring it up. I wasn't going to bring it up about what TNB is, but now Russ has brought it up.
There's no meaning to it. It's just, people just want to know what it's all about.
It means what you want it to mean.
Yeah.
Simple.
That's the same fucking bullshit that Eddie gave me.
He's been briefed well. Yeah.
And that's how you became the Necrophilic Boys to me. That's all I'll say.
and Lara 96 is a quality game. I've got to say that just popped up there. That is a
I saw that. It's about the only cricket game I like. It really is.
Yeah. I can bowl any team out for nothing on that game.
Yeah,
you've told me that. Yeah.
There's an easy way. You just get runs without even really trying as well.
No. If you angle, you can angle the pitch to angle like that. Aim it at the furthest away edge stump with no bounce. You'll bowl him out first time every time.
I probably didn't know that.
It's fucking no fun. I've known it since the 90s. Definitely on the Mega Drive. But it's no fun if they fucking bat first, because you only get one go at batting, because no sooner you've scored the innings is the game's over. The
other thing I remember about it is you can turn LBWs off, just stand in front of your wicket and wait for them to bowl a bouncer and leave it, and then they'll just go behind for 4. There's other little things like that you could do.
I remember, actually, funny enough, it's Lara 96 where you can edit the team in.
I don't know. I can't remember.
I don't know, but the copy I've got, the first one, for some reason, all the names are changed on it. And I haven't, because I did the official team names in there. And then for some reason now, I can't get it back. And they're just these generic names. And it's something within the game which has done that. And I think he did it. This is not the same one I had originally, but when I had it originally years ago when it first came out, exactly the same thing happened.
See, I remember one of them, you could edit the player's name, so that makes me think there's some sort of internal memory in it, because I used to put all my schoolmates in as like the school cricket team, like.
Yeah, well, Premier Manager 97, that remembers your progress, so that's got something in it.
Yeah, that must have.
Sure it does. And I remember, if your player gets injured, quickly hit reset, and then you'll start off from your last point. You get a key player injured, quickly hit reset, and then just start the game again, and he might not get injured.
Talking of hacks in Premier Manager, I'm sure it's the original Premier Manager. If you started a demo because you could only pick any team in any league in the demo mode, I used to pick West Brom, because obviously before, if you did career mode, you had to pick someone from Division 3. Whereas if you picked someone in demo mode, saved it, when you reloaded it, it recognised it as career mode, so you could literally start in any division after. I used to do that.
Was that the original one, was it?
That's the original one on the Mega Drive. So if you didn't want to start from Division 3, because you used to only be offered contracts to manage a Division 3 side, if you started a demo mode and then saved it, because really demo mode was only meant to be a season, I think. But if you saved it halfway through, when you reloaded it, the game didn't recognise it as demo mode. It thought it was the full game, and you could start from any division you want.
I remember playing Premier Manager 2 on the Amiga. That was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed that. It's probably the only other football management game I've enjoyed apart from the Championship Manager and first incarnation of Football Manager on 2005, I think it was. But yeah,
I think we were talking about it on your stream the other day, Dana. The newer they've got, the more in depth they've got, and it's just too much.
Too much.
You just want to buy or sell players, pick the team, pick the formation, perhaps do a bit of tactic. I don't give a fuck who sponsors the team. Let someone else do that. I don't want to train the players every fucking day. Just turn up, and if you're happy, you're not.
it's more like chairman manager simulator type thing, isn't it? Really, it's just you don't want to sit down and spend 2 hours setting the game up.
Yeah,
that's what it just seems like.
I was playing Premier Manager 98 yesterday, earlier today when I was pissing about with my PS1, and I just remember the song from that when he goes, "I want you to go through the whole season and not lose one match." I know it sounds impossible, but we're going to do it. I was playing that as West Brom, but I think we were on about in my stream as well. LMA Manager, the first one on the PlayStation 1, probably had it quite right as well, where you could edit your stadium and stuff like that. I remember the one Premier Manager, you could get your sponsors on the board as well.
That was Premier Manager 2, I think.
It was LMA made 2001. You could do that as well, which is what I had. That was the last football management game I had.
I couldn't get into the LMA series at all. I just really couldn't get on with it. Did that use the Actua Soccer engine when it first came out?
One of them did. No, LMA didn't. Premier Manager.
Premier Manager, yeah.
Premier Manager. Oh, right.
That's the highlight show, yeah.
Oh, because it was LMA Codemasters. Yeah, I think it was, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. I've had it out today, actually.
Yeah, because Premier Manager would have been gold. Gremlin?
It's out of my reach.
Gremlin, yes, Premier Manager. Oh, no. Gremlin, yeah.
I know it's Actua Sports now, because actually in the pickup video where I showed off Premier Manager 99, I opened up the case, and on the inlay they were advertising Actua Soccer 3. And the disc was, split in half and colourful like Actua Soccer.
Yeah, that was a terrible game as well.
Actual Soccer.
Yeah.
Era on the front in his England shirt, I believe.
Yeah. There's a first reason for not liking it, but the second, it was just terrible match engine, and mate of mine used to rave about that, and Adidas Power Football as well.
By the way, RetroBear, it 100% is on 95 Eric Torsvet on the front, because that used to be one of my things. I used to be able to name most of the people on the covers of the FIFA games. Like Dennis Bergkamp was 99, I think. Beckham was Road to World Cup and stuff like that.
Who's on this one?
96 Bergkamp, innit?
We'll have a
Jason McAteer for Ireland.
A live quiz test here.
Jason McAteer for Ireland.
That fall down.
Oh, there's 2 people on there.
Jason McAteer is the main one for Ireland, I think.
Yeah, if I do this, it's all going to fall down because of hang tabs. Oh, that'll do. Who we got? There you go. Yeah, Jason McAteer and one of the De Boer brothers by the look of it.
Frank?
Is it?
Yeah, it looks like Frank.
Yeah.
But they're twins. That's close enough, isn't it?
Yeah. I only knew really McAteer. I could remember it was Ireland, and The original one, David Platt for England, I think, against Switzerland, I think, if I'm right.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think you're right on that one, yeah. It's behind me. If I turn around now, everything's going to fall over, so I'll just, I'm hanging on by a thread here. If I move too much, it's going to pull the whole lot down. The lights will come down, the microphone will come down.
While
I'll be
we're
on the floor.
talking about your room, your collection's probably just quadrupled in value. Have you both noticed the price of Wii stuff's gone through the roof lately?
Yeah.
I've been telling people I've been telling people for years.
Russ's moment.
Do you remember, Dale, that last year at the Birmingham Fair, I was talking to you, and you said to me, "Oh, I ain't got any Wii stuff." I said, "Oh, it's all right." He said, "I said I'll pick them up." I said, "Get them all you cheap, getting cheaper with collector's items." And there was a bloke who stood next to me. He looked and went, "No, it won't, mate. No, it won't." Well, now's my moment.
Well, we can talk about that a bit now, actually, because I'm not a gaming snob, but I've got no love for the Wii. I haven't. I had a Wii, but I have no respect for it as a console. I saw it as a novelty and a gimmick. Sell it to me bare why it isn't, and then Gurney, you can sell me the Xbox 360 because I had no love for that. Although I have now recently purchased one.
Well, sometimes you've got to back a loser, haven't you? You've got to back a loser.
I'm a West Brom fan, of course. I know.
Well, you'll know all about this, right? Your entire life has been spent doing this. Now, you can collect all the, I could go on for Super Nintendo or Mega Drive or something like that. But when I first played on the Wii, like a lot of people, I really quite enjoyed it. But I didn't get one. Unlike my dad, who played on one for the first time, bought one, and he's sat in the cupboard ever since. But having played on it, I was given one 3 years later. And again, I didn't do anything with it. And all of a sudden, I just went into CX the one day, and I was going through, I think I was just looking for games in general. And then I noticed how cheap the Wii games were. I think I was looking for GoldenEye 007. And I thought that's still £3. I thought some of these are quite cheap. And then all of a sudden, I realised how cheap they were. I mean, so many of those games were, I think CX was still doing a 25p game at the time. We're probably going back about 4 years, that their lowest price was 25p before they moved to the 50. And so many of the games were priced between 25p and a quid. So I could walk in there with 20 quid in my pocket and I could come out with like 30 or 40 games. And I think this is brilliant. So that's where the love for it was born. And I do play on it, probably not as much as I should do, but I just love the console. The games are so cheap. I love the cases. I do. Never been a particularly massive fan of Nintendo before now, and I don't think I'm a massive fan of Nintendo after all this. But something just clicks with it's like everything nice. Something for some reason whatsoever just clicks with you and stays with you, and then you sort of like welded to it. It's like marriage. I'm guessing. I don't know.
Full set, isn't you? You are going for a full set away.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's taken me about 4 years to get this far, and I think I've got about 650 something now. So, but I haven't got any for quite some, not so many in the last few months. But yeah, that would be the goal. That would be the goal to try and get there.
I'll be honest with you. The Wii, I called my Xbox 360 because I got to the stage where I'm just using this box room. And I had to sacrifice some stuff. And I the next thing that'll probably go for me will be my Xbox original. I still look at my PS2 and I like the system, but there's a lot of shit on there, if you know what I mean. I need to cool that down just purely because the stuff I want that I know I value that more as space. And I don't want to become where I'm like when I first started collecting, I don't know about you guys, PS2 was the one for me because as you say, it was 25p, 50p a game. I could bulk out my collection with that. Whereas now I've got to the stage where I don't want to bulk out my collection. I want to move some of that. So
yeah. Well, I mean, the interesting thing, if you can see up there to where my finger is, where that Spice World VHS tin is, that's the height of that there was the amount of Wii games I had at one point, which was about 8 to 10. And that's all I had for about 2 or 3 years after I was given the Wii. That's all I had. And then it's gone into that giant, great big pile of stuff behind me. And you just get caught up with collecting sometimes. I mean, like you, I think before that, PlayStation 2 probably was the biggest collection I had, about 90 games. And that's not far behind the Wii. I've got about 620 of those.
That's PS2.
PS2, yeah.
I mean, I had hundreds of them, and I really called mine. But when I go through, I look. Is it a game that I think's a good game, or is it a game that I might actually play? Because like I'm looking now, and for some reason I've kept fucking top spin tennis, but I do like tennis games. So obviously, when I was looking through to Cull, I saw that. I thought there's a good chance if I'm going to play a game, I might put that in for 10 minutes, sort of thing.
Yeah. I mean, you know, I probably am a victim of my own collecting habits, which is basically just buy anything that's cheap. But you know, there are some good games in that, and you know, it's not all filler crap. I'll be honest with you. A lot of it is, but not all of it is. I mean, when I first started collecting for the Wii, I wanted to buy the really sort of the hidden gems, the well-known games, the well-reviewed games, and that's what I started off. I mean, you know, I've got a reputation of not spending an awful lot of money on games. But when I first started collecting the Wii, I was sort of spending, you know, £7-10 a game if I could find them, because I wanted that sort of collection. And then I found out how cheap they were, and then that just took over. Lock an eye for a bargain, mate.
We're not saying you're cheap, RetroBear, but I did say that to you when I saw you at my store. I said all my cheap games are down there.
And how quickly was I in that bucket, mate? How quickly was I down there?
There was people thrown aside.
Yeah, you can sniff a 50p again. Yeah, but that's how it is, and you know, it's not a gimmick. That's how I collect. I like to say to people, you know, joking aside, you can build a decent collection, or you can build a collection of games by not spending a lot of money. You haven't got to go and collect the big hitters. You haven't got to go and collect the Marios and the Sonics, the games which always hold their value, and the rare ones. You can actually, if you just want to play games, and like me, you just enjoy playing games, and don't give a toss, you know, what sort they are. If you just enjoy playing games, good, bad, indifferent, this is the way to do it. Yeah, even Tony Hawk games. Yeah, yeah.
Horse games, loves them.
Horse games, fishing games, singing games, dancing games. I've got them all.
I take the mick out of horse games, but the dearest one on a 360 standard release is a horse game, and I have it. My Horse and Me too, yeah. But
how much you spend on it, Rob? How much you spend on it?
I'm even going to say this. I got it for a bargain, 42 quid.
Oh, 42 quid.
Because CX now sell it for like 60 something.
I could have got 84. I could have got 84 games for that price.
When I bought it, yeah, you could. When I bought it, I think CX was selling it for 50 or 55, one of the two. And I back it up at a gaming market. I was like, do I buy it? Do I get this big? Yeah, I can't believe I'm saying it. This big hitter off the list. And I thought, you know what? Fuck it. I've got to do it. Because it's only going to go one way, and if it goes the wrong way, I'm going to be even more gutted in a year's time. So I fucking got it right. That's full set wankers, eh?
I must say, I do love a RetroBear music pickup or a Just Dance, because to listen to you read out the songs that are on the back, it's like Tony Blackburn doing the charts.
Yeah, as if I've got absolutely no idea what I'm reading now, because I can guarantee 90% of the time I have not heard of half of that stuff on there.
A little bit of rap or an R&B, a little bit of rap and R&B, and I'll know it's right up RetroBear street.
Well, I'll tell you what it is. I'm actually trying to desperately find a list of the like the old best-selling game charts, because I've got a great idea for a video, and I just want to do like a top 20 countdown. As you quite rightly said, they're in the style of someone like Tony Blackburn or Alan Freeman, like doing pick of the pops, sort of, because. If I can find it, but it's so difficult to find. I think Eddie sent me a picture of a list which is really impossible to read out on my phone. But
there is a website that scans all the old magazines so you can read them. I'm sure there is. Yeah.
You'll have to let me know what it is then.
I need to find it myself, but someone in the comments must know. But there is a website they've scanned all the old like CBGs and stuff like that, so you can read them online.
Are they sad like us and will know something like that?
Tootie UK, I'll put it in a minute, because if he doesn't know, it's not worth knowing. So, Rob, tell me on the 360 again. It was a system I didn't have much love for, but I am appreciating the shooters on it now. I must admit that.
I was going to say a big draw to it was originally the achievement system. I love it because it adds a dimension to gaming. I have learned. I was terrible when I first started. I have learned to enjoy the game and just get what I can out of it now. Don't insist on keeping something, or even though I do now. Back then, I kept stuff just because I hadn't got the full 1000 or stuff like that. I buy crap as well, which I still do to a degree. But the achievement system is a big thing. I've always said I've always preferred the dashboard. Even the old Xbox 360 ones, I always thought were better than what the PlayStation was. Found it easier to navigate. This is just my fucking spacky hands, I think, but I've always found the 360 controller comfortable to hold, but the PlayStation one always digs into my hands here after a good half hour's worth of solid gaming. The 360 one just fits in my hand. It's lovely. But of course, it's got a couple of props. Here we go. It's got this series, which I've been known to talk about a little bit, haven't I, Bear?
Oh, yeah.
They're still trying to work it out. These little fellas here. Love it.
Final Fantasy, innit?
That's it. Just get it for
I
those.
haven't got a fucking clue and don't play it. If it's not a shooter on the Xbox, I've not played it.
Well, it is.
Well, it is
Cover-based.
yeah.
Yeah. It's a cover-based shooter, the most famous one.
Fucking hell! Someone just said firework off in my back garden. Fucking
It's not Thursday night, is it?
It's this thing over here as well. So yeah, Gears of War. Gears of War.
It's a drugs drop off. That's what it means.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Come on, Bear. You live around this area long enough. You know.
Yep. I know. I've heard about that. Yep.
No, I absolutely adore it. Adore it.
I did.
So go on, mate.
Gears of War. I did try and play one Gears of War, but they're not my kind of games. I like first person shooters. Sure, as you know, I like the competitive. I know you're the opposite, Rob.
I was going to say another love for Gears is basically it was brought in at Gears 2, but the Horde mode where you are a team and you have to sort of survive 50 waves of just enemies. You know, every 10th wave's a boss. Gears 4. Yeah, we've already covered this in a pod, but we learned I have put over 1,000 hours into Gears 4. It's now up to 1,018, which is the equivalent of just over 42 days, by the way. Yeah, we've done all the maths. So, yeah.
we worked it out live on air, didn't we?
This is why my backlog just went like that in 2019, because I was just playing that. And I was still buying stuff. I was just still playing Gears 4. But yeah, I've just found the system for me has just always been nicer to use. I've always found it easier to use, and it's been more comfortable controller-wise. Just everything about it. I think the achievement system is better than a trophy system. I love the fact you get points rather than just a trophy as such. No, the trophies don't have points, so they can work it better sometimes with the amount of points they charge for an achievement or give you for an achievement. But I just think it's a better system as well.
See, I'm a PlayStation fanboy, and I've always loved the PlayStation controller because it's barely changed in the last 20 years. 20 plus
it's
years.
An absolute classic controller. That absolute classic.
See, I think the sticks are in the wrong place here. This blows my mind.
Funny you mention that, because for me, I think the Dual Shocks are in the wrong place.
No.
Can't get on with them. Can't get on with them.
No.
Really?
Well, I said, spacky hands. That's all it is,
That revolutionised the PlayStation 1 for me when I first, ironically, because you were talking about Tucker earlier, weren't we, before we came on? And I bought that and a DualShock controller at the same time. And it was like, this is unbelievable. It was like, wow, this just took gaming to another level for me. Just because the controller vibrated. But, and that controller there for me was just... it's just the best controller ever.
See, I think, right, let me get my blooming PlayStation controller out now. Actually, I can just pick up one of my... See, to me, that there seems right because then my fingers are balanced there, if that makes sense, on my R1, R2. That feels balanced to me. And then the DualShock's my centre of gravity. Because really, you ignore the D-pad anyway. You rarely use that anymore.
Yeah.
So you only ever navigate to your... triangle, square, X, whatever. Whereas with this, that doesn't feel balanced to me, if you know what I mean. I feel like my finger needs to be there to be balanced again.
Perfect for me. Perfect. Fucking love it.
What, the Dreamcast?
Dreamcast, just perfect.
Dreamcast control, that's completely different. That's a different balance. No,
you're talking about controllers. That's the most comfortable one.
No, GameCube's the best
controller.
I've got to be honest with you, GameCube, that is a really good controller. Really good controller. I can't stand the N64 one.
No one can.
But what I'm saying is, Rob, with balance, the Dreamcast one's right because my thumbs are on there with my buttons, and then my thumb's on the analog stick, and then obviously my fingers on the trigger. So, but that feels balanced because like my fingers are more or less level, if that makes sense.
That's what I said to you, best controller.
Yeah, it is a good one, but do you not think the GameCube was correct by having your main button, the one you have to press all the time, bigger than the others?
I don't know, bit old school, I suppose, when it comes to that. Didn't really like it. But then again, I've got very little experience with Nintendo stuff as well, because I have literally been Sega all my life. The only time I veered away from Segas was PS1 over Saturn. So
everything over the Saturn.
Yeah, ironically, it's going to be the next console I get, I think. I'm going to go for one. I really want one now. Just because I've never experienced one, and I love Sega.
I've got a Saturn that just collects dust. In fact, I think I was talking to Game Zone Birdroom in the comments about, because he was on about something, and mine's just collecting dust, man. I need to get playing it some more.
Yeah, well, I've got two collecting dust. But that's actually a console I've actually managed to pick up at a car boot sale for £1 each time, just a base unit.
Yeah.
And no leads with anything, and they worked absolutely fine.
They're dear on CX and the Dreamcast as well. That's going to be my next CX trade challenge when we can all eventually get out and about and do our stuff again. Just get credit towards the Saturn.
One day. Do you remember when you should be able to do things like that? Yeah.
Just walk outside without care in the world.
Yeah. Without
honest, we could have kept CEX open, because there's nothing that would fucking live on anyone that's in CEX, would they, really? Then there's no amount of bleach or hand wipes that would make fucking CEX sterile either.
No, it's sort of beyond help, really. But we can't knock it too much, because it's a source for a lot of stuff that we try and we can pick up from. So
yeah,
we've all knocked it.
Them.
Yeah, we've all knocked them over the years. They've for some reason they've cocked up or made a mistake, or sent Dana a box with nothing in it.
But yes.
Yeah.
So
you know what? I try not to knock them, because they help me in two ways. One, they give me a service where I can trade in shit that I've got for the boot for something I want. But I use them for pricing when I'm doing an event, because I always think, right, because now it's not like it was 10 years ago where people's knowledge was their knowledge. Everyone has knowledge in the touch of their hand now. So I always think, if I'm at an event, if I look at something that's on CEX, I'll mark it a couple of quid or £1 cheaper, because I always think if someone then looks it up, they'll think, oh, he's cheap, I'll buy that off him.
Yeah.
Everyone does.
I always use it as a sort of a guide as to roughly what something is considered in terms of value, and go from that. So if I can pick something for £1 somewhere and CX is selling it for like £8, I think, well, be stupid not to buy it for £1, wouldn't it, or a couple of quid, and save myself the money than do it that way. And a game which I may not have spent £8 on in CEX comes to me, but I have to go for them for other stuff that I can't find anywhere else.
I think the thing with CEX and YouTube as a pairing is, everyone like yourself there, Rush, you remember when they sent me a game with nothing in. Yeah. But you don't remember when I picked up the other week a mint Bomberman 2, and it was really mint. I picked it up for £20 and it was cheap. Everyone remembers the bad stories of everything that happened, which is human nature, I think, more than anything else.
Yeah, I think we've all got stories like that. But then, as you said, it glosses over the good stuff that we do get out of there, and the good things that they do. I mean, I bought a game in there the one time, and I got my little plastic membership card, which they scanned, and the guy forgot to give it to me. And then 3 days later in the post, that game turned up with a note of apology. You can't argue with customer service like that. But then again, it's the same people that keep got the boxes on the shelves and then got the bloody games behind the counter.
Yeah, it's countless people say if you play the system, you can get what they charge for cheap, can't you? So,
Plus, you got to remember, anything you buy from there, you're getting a 2-year warranty on it.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not getting that off eBay. You're not getting that off me if you buy it as you buy off me. Once you walk away, the warranty's ended. You know what I mean?
And
No sooner I've got the cash, the warranty's gone.
Yeah. But you're right. So many benefits for it. But like I said, we just remember some of the crap stuff that happens. Perhaps we should be a bit more.
Cash converters in Stourbridge, Russ. That's my stomping ground now.
Get out of it. They're good then. They've not had any. I've not picked up much from there recently, but no, that was the infamous 10p bucket.
Was it in there?
Yeah, went in there on that bank holiday weekend, August bank holiday last year. 10p
Show
games.
me the bucket.
Yeah, I can't remember. I spent £20 worth of games, which would have cost me about £90 had I bought them in CEX.
To be honest, I've got a good deal going with them now, because obviously anything that CEX are a little bit fussy about, cash converters aren't, because they're not putting as big a warranty on, and they will price match me CEX plus £1. So I just do that with them. And to be fair, I did that the 3 Dreamcast games. I think I just did them quick in my first live stream when I was testing. They gave me £35 for my trade-in cash. I went to the counter and I'd got Crazy Taxi, fucking, in fact, I'm up here, Jet Set Radio and Dead or Alive, and it come to £36. And I said to the girl, I said, will you do it for 35 because I've got 35 cash off you? And she just turned around and said, I'll do it for 30. So they done me an even better deal than what
Was that Danielle? Was that Danielle?
Yes, it was.
Bloody hell, first name terms.
We are, yeah.
She's the only girl that works in there, I believe, isn't she?
You are?
She's the only girl that works in there, and she's always on front desk.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
The guys do all the testing out the back, but they've literally been asking me to take my stuff there instead of CEX, but obviously they can't match the voucher, so some stuff has to go to CEX.
But they do have some good stuff in there, they certainly do.
Yeah.
Again, I like cash converters. I mean, I've never really had an issue with any of their stuff at all, and it's a shame that there's a couple around here which are now sort of not so good anymore, but if you do come across them, you can get some great deals in there. You really can do.
Yeah, the one in Stourbridge have opened a new one in Dudley because they're a separate franchise, so they've opened a new one. They told me.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah. You know the new little one that's popped up in Dudley?
Yeah.
That's linked to the Stourbridge store. It's the same guy that owns them both.
Oh, right. I didn't know that because I go in there quite a bit as well. So.
Yeah, so it's just so you can use, because like obviously if you're selling you have to show ID, whereas between them two franchise now you don't have to bother.
Right. Now you've banned me from the Stourbridge when I can go to the Dudley one.
Yeah, it's shit in there. You can get to the Dudley one.
Thank you. I'll take that one.
No worries. While we're talking about, like obviously talking about cash converters, that I know especially Rush, you're a big charity shop. I've not been doing good in the charity shops for years, so talk us through your charity shop hunting because you're a lot better than me these days, so I don't really get anything.
Well, I think you mentioned.
Tell me where you go, because I'll fucking go there.
Yeah. I want to know where Bin Boot Sale Picking goes because he seems to. There's somewhere I go to, and they have a lot of I think there's one charity shop chain in there he goes into, and I never find anything. I think he lives down that neck of the woods anyway. But I think you mentioned it the other night in your stream. I can't remember which night it was. I think we said about going to the car boots one. Just wanted to turn up there and try and find out what you can see, and just go in completely cold and not. Sort of predetermine what you do. So I do predetermine sometimes if I'm going somewhere. If I know CX, I've got something, I'll just double check the website, and if they got it there, I'll add it to my list and pick it up. But I just like going into charity shops and just going through stuff and finding things. And half the time, most people will tell you it's all FIFA and Madden and Tiger Woods and all that crap, and no one will touch it. But occasionally, you'll just find stuff in there which is an absolute godsend. I mean, the biggest pickup I did, and this was last January 2019, was Call of Duty Black Ops 4 on the Xbox One for 99p, and it was like 30 odd quid trading at CEX at the time. And I went to another charity shop and then found Sonic Generations on the PS1 for £2.50, and that was trading in for £9. So I got 40 quid worth of credit. And I had some money left from Christmas, which my mother-in-law had given me. So I went and got a Wii U down CEX and cash converters. So that paid for that. So it does pay to go into charity shops. I mean, you have to hunt through an awful lot of rubbish, you really do. But every now and again, you'll just stumble across something and go, God. I think it was the other one as well. Sorry, cutting Rob out of the conversation, but that charity shop you told me moved up the road in Stourbridge, Dana?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I picked up, Splinter Cell Secret Agent on the Xbox for £1 in there. And I think CX was selling that for 15 quid. So sometimes you do come across these things. And I would much rather give my money to charity shops than going to somewhere like CX and cash converters. I appreciate sometimes you can't always do that.
Yeah. How about you, Rob? Do you run into the charity shops? I know you used to the CX videos where you...
the challenge ones, yeah.
Yeah, you've not done any of them. Obviously, you can't fucking do any of them at the moment, but you haven't done any of them for a while.
I had one lined up, and then obviously things went tits up, with that idea. But I'm solely charity shops because I think the nearest boot sale to me is like half-hour drive away, and now I get up at silly o'clock, for a living. So fuck doing that on my day off as well, So, but yeah, I'm very fortunate. One town I go to has got quite a lot of them. and there's one which always does me quite well. Again, a couple of times you go in there and it'll just be the Sea of FIFAs and is it We Fit? The one that one there.
Yeah.
It's literally like 12 copies of that in there. But if you just got to keep going because they will turn up. I'm trying to think of the best ones I've had in the last year. I've Bully on the 360 I found for 50p once. That's got into the collection. I mean, I had it digitally, but I didn't have a physical copy. It's a shame that I couldn't trade that in because I think that's a £9 or £10 trade-in. And what's it, GTA San Andreas? That's a £20 game CX. I've had that turn up for like 50p. And just, I always say that if it trades in for double my money and I'm spending less than £2, I'll always pick it up because it just adds up. But obviously, I don't want to go in there with like 20 games that cost 50p and just, double my money. I'll try and balance it out with a bit of other good stuff as well. But I've had quite a good lot. I mean, as I say, it's just all about walking at the right time sometimes. I remember I walked into one of the bigger, well, I call sort of like, superstore charity shops. It's that big. And the guy, where the games were, it was empty. And I thought, oh, for fuck's sake, I've missed out there. But he was actually making space to put more out. And he was just popping them on the shelf. And I'm thinking, I'm seeing loads of Wii and a couple of PS2. And he put 2 boxed copies, not the cardboard sleeve, of Wii Sports. I mean, if I'd kept them now, I could sell them for a fortune. And each one was 50p, and they were trading in for £9 each. So they came out, and there was loads of other little stuff. And my 360 collection got a boost for games that should have cost £7 or £8. And it was just one of those turn-ups which was just fantastic. Because I'd added some expensive stuff. And, you wish, mate. And and I got some great trade as well. I'd already been flirting with Harlow Town, so yeah, you stay out of it. But I've had a few. I say it's all charity shops for me because I say that one boot sale is too far away. And as I say, with that, you have to sort of warrant in the fact that it's an hour's worth of driving, because of the return journey and the petrol you spend. If you go all the way there just to find one 50p game, which you're going to get £4 trading for, you ain't made, have you? So it's just not worth it for me. Whereas I've got a town either side of me, both have got charity shops, both have got a CEX, and it's just good hunting ground for me. So yeah, I love it. I was going to say, I always do it on my day off. One of my 2 days off, I always go on a charity shop hunt, and I rotate which town I go to as well. So yeah, as I say, I'm missing that. I absolutely love it, and I'm missing it. I really am.
I used to do loads of car boots years and years ago, but until I found out a certain individual who lives not too far away from here goes and cleans them out anyway. I've stopped going there.
And finds carts to Bucky O'Hare.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, not mind you, that was quite a distance to travel. If the rumours were true, how far you went for that one? Yeah,
it's about 50 mile, I think.
Yeah. Cool. I mean that's dedication to the sort of.
And I get
across
there
and
at 3:30 in the morning. I don't go to sleep when I go to that one.
3:30, bloody hell.
I don't sleep that great. Like how Rob says, he gets up at silly o'clock in the morning. So do I, Monday to Friday. But I get up my body wakes me up at that time anyway on a weekend. So I might as well get up and get out as sit around waiting for everyone else in the house to wake up. And also, a couple of nights a week, I work late. So I survive on like 5 hours sleep most days anyway and feel okay. So whereas back in the day when I just had one job, like I used to have like 9 hours sleep and I used to feel terrible. The less sleep I have, the better I feel, to be honest.
I'm with you on that one. I any more than sort of 7 hours sleep and I don't feel quite right after that. Takes me a long time
I need to go back to bed if I have too much sleep.
Yeah.
Anyway, in the comments, we're going to cut you out a bit here, Rob. Sorry. But everyone's taking the piss because obviously me and you live close together. They're saying, we're neighbours.
I read it.
But I do think, and obviously Jay Cybersnake, he's like less than a couple of miles away from me. So that's obviously less than a couple of miles away from you. Mm-hmm. But there is quite a little, as we've been finding, a little contingency in and around our local area of YouTubers, as I say. There's a couple I've found. And obviously, do you say Sal Picking's a local one?
Well, I think it's a bit further. I think it's a bit further south. I would guess probably sort of down into Worcester area. I don't know whereabouts it is, but I'm guessing that from one of the charity shop chains you're going to. But where I live, there's at least 2 within a 2 mile radius. One is the other guy's called You've Been Gamed, whose also name is Lee. He lives in Elstow.
Yes, that's very confusing.
Yeah, and there's also Retro Kit, who lives again probably about 2 miles up by the about 2 miles away from here as well, just out the other side of the postcode. So, there are quite a lot of people. It's strange to find people sort of live so close to you. You think the only person here doing this, and There's loads of people quite close to you, quite surprised by it.
It's when you say that. Obviously, I actually for quite a while thought I was the only person down here, because every YouTuber I was interacting was either Midlands or up, and I was just like, I am literally the only one down here. And then some bloke I found out, lived only like 20-25 minutes drive away from me, suddenly showed up.
Big Game L.
Oh, was that him?
Yeah, is it?
Yeah, that's it.
I hope it was.
Yeah.
That's a really, really embarrassing impression.
No,
otherwise.
but I think there's a...
If someone said in the comments, Pixel Plug, whoever that is.
Cradley Heath. Bloody hell, that's closer than you, mate.
I know, yeah. Anyway, Rob, I'm just going to cut you off there about this. See, I think what a lot of the problem is people down your way only seem to go to that London market and those events, and they don't put themselves out there as much, whereas you and Big Game Out have kind of thing. I don't know if it's that London thing where nothing happens outside of London attitude. I don't want to sound a cunt, but I obviously am.
But no, there's not a lot down here, to be honest with you. Apart from the gaming market locally, there ain't a lot down here. I mean, a few have cropped up recently. Like I started doing one in Milton Keynes. That's not too far away. But it is just like, for us, it's just like everything is like Midlands or up north. Every event is that sort of direction. And I mean, my original plan, because I know you called me out on it, I wasn't lying to you. My original plan was actually, because like I've just said, I touched on, I love going to arcades, was to go to Arcade Club Leeds. That was my original plan. Then about 3 weeks before Donny, it all changed, just because I knew that out of the people that I'd like to have met, more of them were going to Donny, like Eddie, Sean,
thank you, mate.
and Pete.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
yeah. But oi, you were going to both, so don't give me that shit. So yeah, I know you was... So yeah, it's just like that. And obviously I'd because Pete Armour was messaging me about it and letting me know, because I met Pete back in November at a gaming market, one of the very first YouTubers to see me face, quite literally. And he told me about the Leeds Arcade Club, and I was really up for it because I love arcades. But then I realised about Donny and who was going to that and who wasn't going to Leeds. Like, I knew Tootie was going to be stalling there. And then I found out Scott Glory Hunter was going to Donny but couldn't make it to Arcade Club Leeds. Just a lot of faces that I've been watching for a long time. And I was just like, I have to do this. And as I say, do you know, I said it in the video, I didn't sleep for 2 days before I went to it because I kept it all a surprise. And I kind of wish I'd told Bear in case it swayed his mind, but I did decide to keep it 100% secret and tell nobody.
Yeah,
and
that's
just turn
fine.
up.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it's such a great surprise, wasn't it? Because the guys couldn't quite believe he made it. So
Eddie's still saying it.
Yeah.
What I will say is, though, is it may be I don't want to say a godsend because none of us want to be in lockdown, but there is 100% going to be an arcade club meet in Leeds once this all finishes out.
Yeah.
So hopefully everyone can get there and it'll be one hell of a blooming good blowout, I'd have thought. The next event will be a good blowout. Also, Retro Chef lives near you as well, if you know Retro Chef.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say the other, he's very kindly offered. So obviously I'm going to split the petrol with him. But I say he only lives 20 minutes away from me, and he's very kindly offered to take us to events. Like, as you guys know about my anxiety, it's got a lot worse over the last year or so, and it's stretched to driving long distances into places I don't know, which is why I went up the day before Donny by train and went back the day after by train, because I couldn't deal with driving that long on my own into a place I didn't know. So that's why I did it. And Al's very kindly said, if I'm going to the event, he'll come and pick me up, and then obviously I'll split the petrol with him, and I don't have to spend money on hotels. It's cheaper for both of us traveling. So yeah, cheers, Al. So
Retro Bear knows someone who's like that as well.
Oh yeah, I do, don't I? Yeah. Keeps offering to take me places.
So, I mean, if Donny in December is still on, from what I understand, I'm going, Pete's going, Sean's going, Eddie's going. I'm going to go if they don't change the date. And unfortunately, when I go back to work, they decide not to piss about with the roster, because December the 6th was due to be my first day off. If that doesn't change as well, and I can, we're all going to go. If Al's going, he's going to very kindly give us a lift, and I'll split the petrol with him, and we're all going to be there. So, hopefully you can make it, mate.
I'll be there definitely, because I go to anything. Like, they had a new arcade in the chip shop up the road. I went to the opening day of that as well.
What was the game?
Game and beer. I'm there.
What was the game?
They didn't really rush it. It was a joke.
Oh.
They ain't had an arcade in the chip shop round here for ages.
My local chip shop used to have Pengo. Remember that?
Did it?
Let's go back a long day when you just go to the fish and chip shop and they'd have a fruit machine and a game in it, and
Yeah.
the laundrette would have one as well. Just literally everywhere would have a machine in it. As I say, I just wherever I had a machine, I'd always remember what it was, where it was, and if it changed, obviously, and things like that. Just loved it.
Look, where I live, they don't like to have tills in the building, let alone something else. Very funny.
That's only when you go in, surely.
Hey, I'm one of the posher people around here, I tell you. It's a scary place where I've grown up. Also, Al asked earlier in the comments, and he'll bug me if they ask, Retro Bear, are you looking after those games that I sold to Al that he's...
Yes. It's only because I saw your video with where you put in the manuals inside the plastic bags. I thought, hang on a second, I know where these are coming from. Then,
I don't even remember because literally he just wanted the cases, and he even bought them off me and started taking the games out and said, "Here, do you want the games back? I only want the case." I went, "No, just have them." He goes, "Oh, I'll gift them to someone," and then obviously
someone, and you were all thinking of me, weren't you? I will take these games. Going, yeah. No, I mean, yeah, that was great of Al to do that, and they'll be well.
I was dead jealous of FIFA 97 because it's got the indoor football in it, and that is fantastic. Yeah. Love it.
It's got a faded end though. That's why I got rid of it out of my collection, because it's got a faded spine. But the indoor football is brilliant on it. I will agree there.
Loved it.
I never played that one, so.
Well, get
on it. Football idol on the front.
I'll have to get on it. Yeah.
Do you know
the other 3,000 I'm going to get through first before I get to that?
Yeah. Ginoli, absolutely, mate. Loved him. What a guy. What a player. Best two-footed player I've ever seen live. And I'm using the expression live there, by the way.
Yeah. I'd say Thierry Henry was mine. Did we talk about this on my stream? I think we did.
Might have done,
yeah. I think I was talking about that when I used to go up Anfield with my mate, because when his sister was pregnant, I used to go to the Liverpool games with him. Crazy, but he used to be proper dodgy as well. He used to park up and these little kids would come up to you and go, "Do you want us to look after your car, mate? It might get scratched." In other words, give me a £5 or your car's getting keys.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. I mean, my mate, when he goes to his club, he parks so far away from the ground. You have to walk about 20 minutes to get there, but he knows it's safe.
Where's that then? Is that the Albion?
Man United.
Oh God, I've only been around the outside of Old Trafford. Impressive stadium. My dad worked on it.
In the 90s. Oh right, yeah. He did. The first time I went there, I mean, how long ago it was they were still building the stand where you look at the television, the stand opposite there, and we went for a cup game, and it's basically sort of said they gave you a pack-a-mac when you went in because there's no roof on it. But it was back in '95. It was £10 to get in because it was a restricted view. And I tell you something, there was no restricted view that day. It was brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
My old man worked on the new extension they had in the 90s, and he always said to me, he said he wouldn't pay to go there. He said because you couldn't tell who was on the pitch when he was there, whether it was the groundsman or Cantona who was that far away.
Seriously? Oh, God.
Yeah.
Where my mate's got his season ticket is...
There's a bit that goes over the road, isn't there? He worked on that extension as it went up right to the back.
I mean, my mate, where his season tickets are so far up, but you get such a great view where it is. And I've never had a problem when we haven't been up for years now, but he used to say, "Oh, my dad can't go." He says, "Do you want to come along?" And I was like, "Oh, yeah." He used to jump in, and it was great. But it was a fantastic view. I don't think there's any particularly bad view in that ground. It was really, really good from where we were, and it's like roll up in the nosebleed territory.
I think my old man's just spoiled because he used to like going in the Alford lanes at West Brom, and you're right by the pitch there when we used to go. The old man stand, as I call it.
Yeah, my dad used to go up years ago when he was younger.
Anyway, we'll move on to football because I know Dylan's probably pulling his hair out and Eddie's probably Eddie's a skater boy. He said, "See you later, boy."
Hey.
Where first off with Retro Bear, where do you plan to go with YouTube and your collection? So do you have any goals? Where do you want to go from where you are now?
Well, I don't think I've really got any goals. I don't think I've ever had any goals since I started. It's just trying to accumulate as much crap as possible. But I suppose this year what I wanted to try and collect was more retro stuff, more of the systems from my youth, which I didn't get a chance to play originally. Obviously, I want to try and knock a few more of these Wii games on it and try and get that collection going up a bit. In terms of YouTube, I think just doing what I'm doing now, the podcast has been an extension of that. And I've wanted to do that for quite some time. I quite enjoy doing that. So I'd like to carry that on. But I'm more at home doing this, talking to the camera and showing people what I, sort of picked up and things like that. So probably more of the same, but just trying to be, continually improving and getting better and, maybe trying the odd new idea.
I don't think you need to get... I don't understand the quote better. I like you how you are. I like what you do. When you were reviewing those cheaper systems at Christmas time, that was good. I enjoyed watching them just after Christmas.
That little Chinese knockoff. So nearly 800 views on that video. Don't know why, but that was good to do. It was something different. So occasionally do something different, but you can always try and be better. I do appreciate what I said, and I do. That's really good of you to say so. And I know a lot of people say that to me as well. You're really good at what you do, but you can always be a little bit better. So yeah, maybe
I'm already brilliant.
We all aspire to be as good as you, mate. It's I don't know where this sort of obsession with getting good at YouTube this year and sort of you've had, but it's great, and
everyone says this. I'll tell you the truth about me and YouTube this year. I've wanted to do YouTube not properly, just more consistently. But I have bought the shittest of shit laptops secondhand over the last 2 years. You won't believe. And Stu will joke about this because he bought a new laptop last year, and I was like, yeah, but he was really struggling with this. And I finally bit the bullet, and I bought this MacBook, and I know I'll bang on about it, but it's made my life and editing so much more easier. I can get a video done in a few hours. I'm never going to be top quality. The only little bit of editing I do is normally to help another channel, like when I'm doing a shout out so they've got their name across the bottom, or when I do my walkarounds, I like to point out the stores. The only bit of effort I put in, I like to think is for someone else, because what you're always going to get with me is just someone rambling and chatting and making cock-ups, and I just like staying that way.
Yeah, I think so. I've always done that. If it's the video goes up, that's the video I've recorded. I mean, occasionally once I may have once or twice restarted them and done again, but I don't edit them out. I say when I'm supposed to be better, I'm probably being a bit too critical because people do enjoy what I do, and I enjoy doing it. It's the most relaxed way of doing it. Yeah,
I never watch anything else. I never watch any of my videos once I've done them. Other than editing.
I do watch them back occasionally. Just when I'm putting everything away, putting the lights away and the camera and stuff, well, I'll just run the video for about 10 minutes, just listening to it, make sure it's all right. But I don't sit down and watch it again afterwards. Bits of it maybe, but that's about it. I don't listen to the podcast again. I'm not listening to one of those back yet.
Oh, I do straight away.
Yeah.
even if I'm in it, yeah. Have to.
Right.
I like to know how it come across.
I just listen. I just scan through it to see how the sound is, and then if it's all fine, then I'll just leave it at that. I don't tend to listen to it.
No.
I'll tell you why. Actually, that new Premiere thing. That's the only time I'll watch my content back. Which I know you keep cocking up there, but
yes, I know. Yes,
I didn't want to mention it again, but the only reason I do that Premiere is because I like the interaction of the people in the comments on the side, and then I can jump in and talk about something that I may have forgot to mention when I was recording, if you know what I mean.
I think the very first time I put a Premiere on, I had no idea what it was. I thought it was just a way of telling people you got a video started at whatever time it was, and I didn't realise there was a live chat to it. So the second time I did it, I went in there and like 12 people. It's like, haven't you got something else?
I was there for that Premiere. You weren't there.
Yeah, well, I tend not to turn up my own premieres.
Hello.
It's a good if I don't make films because I wouldn't turn up for my own premiere, would I? But no, it's just great. I just want to keep doing it as long as people keep watching and commenting, and I'll carry on. And if you don't comment and stop watching, then I'll stop.
What I'll say, Russ, is because I know you had a little bit of a break, and I spoke to you in between then, and I hadn't even noticed you had a break, because my biggest problem is I've got a fucking feed full of shit. I need to get it down, man. Following some of these channels I don't really watch. And I'm a bugger for watching someone's channel and I forget to like all the time, because I said to Rob, I watch it on my phone, I turn it on the side, so that like button's not there. And sometimes I forget to comment, and it's shit, because my favourite part of my videos is people commenting. and I feel like I'm doing other channels out of things if I don't comment. So that's something I need to improve. And like, I hardly get any comments at the moment on these videos because obviously everyone's watching it live, and that's brilliant.
Yeah.
And I just need to get better because there's loads of your videos I haven't commented on. I think, and you'll go back, and if you all of a sudden get an extra like on one of your videos, it's probably because I'll go through a day purging the videos that I've watched and I haven't liked. If you know what I mean.
Well, I'm so far behind with everybody's videos at the moment anyway, so if people are out there wondering why I haven't commented, it's not because I haven't watched it, it's just I haven't got around to doing it yet, so I will do and eventually leave a comment. And I think it's a good way of doing it. Not everybody, sometimes I just make sure I've watched it to catch up with, and, first thing people say is, oh, sorry, I didn't leave a comment about it, and understand. If you're a regular commenter and for some reason you haven't done it, nobody thinks anything of it. We just think, oh, just not seen it, and then 3 or 4 videos down the line, all of a sudden a random comment will appear from you and go, oh, that's great, they're back commenting again. So it's an understanding. Don't expect everybody to comment on it.
Yeah, I try not to. I'm lazy. I try not to look. I try not to look at views. As long as I've got the people, and this sounds like a tosser as well, the people who I care about, the people who I've interacted with and who I always interact with, I care about them more than someone who's just come in for a casual view. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. That's just the way I think. It's
good to see a new name every now and again if they carry on. They do one and then they carry on for the next one.
Except for Tom, whoever Tom is, who keeps fucking spamming everyone's videos lately with his fucking random comment. Great content, mate. I'll watch next video, and he's doing it to everyone. He's obviously a spam channel.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
I haven't had that one, I don't think, yeah.
I've blocked him. You can block them from commenting. If you click on their channel name, those little dots in the top right hand corner, you can block them from commenting.
Yeah, well, I've already done that to someone.
I've done that to him.
I reply to him, just give him something to do.
You're talking to a robot, Russ.
That's all right. I spend most of my day talking to robots, so it's all right.
Skynet is coming.
Yeah. As far as I see, it's just another comment, so that's fine. I'll take that.
So we'll chuck the same question over to Rob. What's your future for your collection and your channel? Are you ever going to come on camera?
No. Easy answer there. No. As I say, what I do works for me. I'm happy with it. People seem to like it. For going forwards, I am where I'm further than I ever could have wanted to be. I'm happy where I am. I don't want to be, I'm happy. I don't want any more, to be honest with you. Too much is literally too much for me. So yeah, no, I'm happy where I am. Just happy doing what I'm doing. Happy with the people I interact with regularly, and if people, like Russ said, if people like what I do, keep watching what I do, then I'll do it. And as I say, one other doesn't mean I'm clever, by the way, but another thing to do with my anxiety thing is I have an overactive mind, so I'm always thinking. So I'm always trying to. That's why I always got new ideas. We've got like 101 ideas and only like time to do 10 of them. So there's always something. I try something new, and even if I enjoy doing it, it carries on. If 10 people watch it and one other person likes it, then for me it's a success. It's entertained one person. But collecting wise, everyone knows what I'm going for. The full 360 set. I mean, I'm not really a full set person apart from that, and I've decided to go for platinums on the PS1 as well. But a little sub reason behind the full set of the Xbox 360 is going back to achievement hunting again. I'd love to one day just say that not only have I got a full set, but I've got at least one achievement on every game. So it's kind of given me a sub reason behind doing it, apart from just loving the system. So yeah, as I say, that's always going to be my main focus, is the 360.
What are you going to do when you get to 1 million?
What, 1 million gamer score?
That's what your aim is, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's the first aim, yeah. I'm nearly at 500,000, but
2 million.
I was going to say, yeah, I'm going to keep going. No, one idea I did have, and I've always said this about achievement hunting, it's become a little bit devalued over the last 2 years or so, just because there's so many Xbox indie games that you can buy for £4 or £5 and get the full 1000G in less than an hour, sometimes less than half hour. Back in the day, when you bought a 360 game, 4 to 6 hours with the odd 1 or 2 exception was a quick completion. So that's why it's always harder to get gamer score on the 360. So I think once I've blasted through and got the 1 million on Xbox One, it's going to take me probably the rest of my life. But I'd like to get 1 million just 360, which is absolutely insane. But it's more achievable now because you could pick up games for 10p and 50p instead of 40 quid when it was first, coming out.
Is that your score from day dot since you've had the Gurnaldinho account on the 360?
I think it's a couple of hundred short of 470,000 at the moment, combined. Obviously, it's a combined score, but I think my Xbox 360 is only just over 100,000. So that just gives you, an example of how easier it is on the One over the 360. In 1 year, when I really went for it last year. I think I got 250,000 in a year, last year, which is insane, going by old standards.
That blooming jigsaw game you played the other day, that was Patience of the Saints stuff, that was.
Exactly. It's an easy completion, and I've got it. But I've always said about playing these indie games on Xbox, you'll come across some shit, you really will. There's absolute proper dog shit. But every now and again, you'll play an indie game just for Gamerscore, and then it will come across as a really enjoyable game. And you're like, do you know what? I'm actually glad that it's got easy Gamerscore now, because I've uncovered a little bit of a, hate the term, but a little bit of a gem, don't get me wrong, I've come across some utter shits playing indie games on the Xbox. But there's a couple lately that I've really enjoyed. There's one called Mecha Tales, which is fucking brilliant. Side-scrolling platformer. And it's like a side-scrolling platformer with a twin-stick shooting element. And you start off with a little droid that follows you, and you can buy other ones in the shop when you get enough in-game currency and stuff like that. Upgrade it, change it. Fucking brilliant it was. Absolutely really enjoyed it. And I wouldn't have gone for it unless I thought, well, they say it's easy 1,000, so I'll give that one a go. Loved it. So, yeah.
So I'm guessing you have to play some games that you don't enjoy as much just because you can rack up a nice score on them, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of some examples, and it should be easier, but... there are some proper turds, even broken, unfinished games. Oh, I can think of one. There was a game on Scalextrics. Yes, Scalextrics is literally a one-button game, but all you had to do was finish all the tracks, so I bought it and did it. And it was broken as well. It used to crash every time you finished a race, so every time you finished one circuit, you'd have to shut the game off and load it again.
Well, why release something like that in that state?
I know, it was released broken as well. I mean, it's probably been patched, because that was last year. Or over a year ago in actual time. But yeah, I'll play some real shit for Gamerscore, and that's one that I can remember now.
What was that Simpsons one you were on about a couple of weeks ago?
Simpsons one?
Is it a Simpsons one? Where you had to something ridiculously stupid for 10,000 points or something.
Oh, you've stumped me there. No, I did say... Actually, this is out of the podcast, this one, but I thought it was quite. We was talking about games with suggestive covers, and Lollipop Chainsaw come up,
yes.
And there's an achievement on it which I'm literally going to get 10G away from 500,000, and then I'm going to get the achievement for looking up her skirt for 10G as the one to hit the milestone. Just for shits, honestly, it really is. Like people
I may tune into that one.
People that make these. Is it backwards compatible, Lollipop? I can't remember. I hope it is, because then I can stream it, yeah. But, yeah. Where was I going with that? Yeah. Yeah, I was going to say...
I don't know where you're going with it.
It makes the achievement makes these lists of, 10 most embarrassing or achievements you're ashamed to have. And I know I've got the game and that I can get it. So I'm just for a laugh and just for shits, I'm going to do it. I'll do anything for Gamerscore. I've got to be honest with you, within a game. I've got the achievement in Red Dead where you have... I've got the achievement in Red Dead where you have to capture a dame, tie her up, take her on a horse to the nearest train track, and then actually watch her get run over by a train for 5G. I've done it. You gave me
my first one. I do.
You give me Gamerscore for it, I'll do it. I don't care. But yeah, God, Red Dead, what game that was.
My quick last question to you both, because we are, believe it or not, in the last 10 minutes of the second hour. Yes, we are. Do you think, obviously, you're both retro gamers at heart and you enjoy your retro games, but I class you both more into your modern games like your Wii's and your 360s. Do you think in a 20 years' time, the Wii, the Xbox 360, maybe the PS3, they will be as desirable as, say, the Mega Drive and look back on as fondly as the Mega Drive and systems of that similar ilk now? Russ first.
Good question. I'd hope so, because I've got quite a lot of all the systems and the games. But yeah, I would think so. If you look at what's happened with the other, the systems from our youth and how sort of collectible they are now, if you look in charity shops, people are dumping stuff like the Wii, the PlayStation 3, the Xbox 360. As soon as you get to the point that all of a sudden that's just going to disappear, and people will just be getting rid of it as cheaply and quickly as possible. Old system, get rid of that. Take it down as the tip, or flog it cheaply at a car boot sale, and it all just sort of disappears. So yes, I think the answer to that question is yes.
How about you, Rob?
Oh, I'm going to go against you a little bit, I'm afraid, and say I'm going to lean towards not as much, because the way I see it is obviously there's only so far games can actually go before they can't really get any different. And if you look at the obviously 8-bits and now, it's massively different, isn't it? And another thing that I think of as well is that we're in a phase where everything's on disc. 360 onwards, everything's on disc, so it's just going to be disc onwards. And then the desirability of having a cartridge over a disc and owning something a little different, and the systems are much different as well. I don't know. I think once you get past a certain point, everything kind of doesn't feel as different.
I will throw it out there, and I think it all depends how much those games need online access.
Oh yeah, there's that side to it as well.
Patch games and fix, like you said there, you bought a game that needed a patch to be fixed. Now, in 10 years' time, when the Xbox 360's network and ability to download that patch is gone, does that then become a glorified brick? Is my worry.
I'll tell you, it's funny you mentioned
the cartridge, if you know what I mean. That game is that game. It's on that cartridge. Everything you need for that game is there.
It's funny you mention that, because I can't remember the last time I put in a 360 game I haven't played and it said an update is required for this game. At some point, you're not going to be able to access them updates, surely, because they're not going to support it forever.
What they might do is what they've done with the PlayStation 2, where you can still play the games online, but you have to secondarily run the PlayStation through a laptop on an artificial server. So maybe there's some way there you can hook up to a PC and download the patches. But I think that will be the end. And also, Rob, you touched on how good can gaming get. That was my idea with the PS. How much more realistic can a game become? Is my I know if you look closely, the jump is massive between the PS3 to the PS4, but then in other games, it's not so massive. Like your Alien Isolation, your last game on your PS3 to what it is on the PS4, there's not a fat lot of difference. And obviously, that's the same with the Switch to the Wii U. The step, as Rob says, is getting smaller and smaller. Like I always remember when we went from the Mega Drive to the PS1 absolutely blew my mind. And then that step again from the PS1 to the PS2, that was even more. The steps are getting smaller.
Yeah, I mean, it's. If you look at something like that, the virtual Formula One that's been running now, and if you showed somebody that and didn't tell them it was running on a console, you struggle to find the fault with it. So that's very, very realistic now. But I still can't do faces and eyes properly. I still find trouble with some of the
hair.
It just still doesn't quite look right. You thought by now we've been through so many incarnations and so many changes. You talk about steps; they still can't get that step quite right. It just still doesn't look as if it's sort of lifelike, as opposed to a computer-generated person. I'm obviously on my own on that one.
No, I agree.
Yeah.
But it is getting better, because obviously there's that guy who acts in Walking Dead, and I can't think. It was a big AAA game that came out. Death Stranded, is he?
Is that Norman somebody? Norman?
I can't think of his name, but he is in The Walking Dead. Now that you can clearly see that is that guy. He's a very good. It's not perfect, but you can see it's him.
There's a guest character in Tekken 7 that's from The Walking Dead, but I'm not a Walking Dead person, so I can't remember his name.
Probably Negan.
As a guest. Yeah, there we go. Yep. No, as soon as you said it, yeah. He's in Tekken 7. It's quite random.
But Dad and Lads Gaming actually mentioned a good point. VR is probably the obvious step forward. It won't be so much
Norman Reedus,
graphically. It will physically be putting you more and more in the game. I mean, I've got a VR system. It is brilliant. It has its faults, but I think that is the next step. They will physically put you in the game, and then we're going into Ready Player One ground, aren't we?
Where
we're all just going to be sat here wired into a game.
As if we aren't already.
Well, I'm wrapped up in wires. I am. I look like I'm in a Thor challenge.
Yeah.
How about you, Rob? What's your feelings on VR?
I'm just not a fan of it. Not a fan of it, to be honest with you. No, it doesn't do it. I say I'm not a fan of it, but I'm a big fan of horror and horror games. So I must be honest with you. That would sway me into giving it a go. It really would. But the whole appeal of VR just isn't there for me. But
if horror VR is your thing, Lee, you've been gamed, not the one who lives by me and Russ, the one from Sheffield. He recently did a video on him playing. Was it Resident Evil he played in VR?
It was something. Yeah,
I think they did
like
7 in VR. Yeah.
Yeah, it was his reaction. It might put you off wanting to play horror in VR. To be honest, Rob.
Nah, I'll give it a go if I ever get the chance. But
I think the only time I played VR was Astrobot? A little platform or something. Yeah. I enjoyed that. I thought that was really good.
See, when I hear VR, I think of my arcade days again, where you had that thing that you could stand in a ring and put that massive headset on, and you'd walk on the spot and turn around in it.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I remember that being on one of the was Games World or Games Master, one like that, and they had like competitive play against each other where they were running around and stuff. It never seemed to kick off though, I think the stuff you can do now on a VR, like there's the experiences. I watch movies I used to on it. Because imagine it's like being in the cinema on your own because you've just got the big screen in front of you in no other direction. But the 360 sound is what blows your mind. Like, because obviously I play competitive games. In a game when you're wearing normal headsets, I can tell if they're left or right. I can tell if they're up and down to my left and stuff like that. The sound that comes from a VR headset. Like if I got sniped in the one game from behind and it actually fucking made me jump out my skin. It's like a bullet come from behind. I was like, whoa, what was that? And just stuff like that. So anyway, we are coming to the end of the stream and I need to close up because I've got other stuff to do after that. It's been a great pleasure having you both on. Rob, you've done brilliant. I know you were nervous. I hope you've enjoyed it.
I have, yeah.
How about you, Bear? Just a nod? Is that all I'm getting?
Mate, you've been absolutely brilliant. It's been an absolute thrill to be here.
Is that better? Yeah.
Say a bit. There's no point having you out if you're not going to. What I like to do with every one of my guests, obviously, because we're in strange times. Bear, if you want to go first, a message for the audience and everyone watching.
Yeah, just to everybody to keep tight, sit tight. We'll get through this, eventually. One day we'll go back to how things were, the normal. And just to stay safe, follow the guidelines we're given. And, one day soon we'll all be together, getting together at these events and wondering what was all those few weeks back where all we had to do was stay in a bit. But no, stay safe, follow the guidelines and take care. That's all I can say.
Thank you, Russ. How about you, Rob? Have you got a message for the audience?
Yeah, I mean, like Bear said, it is strange times. It's unprecedented, and it's difficult. We are all stuck indoors, but it's not a permanent thing. It may go on longer than we all want, but it is only temporary. We will get out of it. I mean, we're fortunate enough we have the technology at home to video call our families and friends and check up on them and do all that. And of course, we're all gamers surrounded by games. And we always complain about the lack of time to play our backlogs. And in a way, we've been gifted time or been forced into the time. So just entertain ourselves with games. And of course, there is YouTube as well. So, take care, stick to the guidelines, stay safe. And as I say, it's just not permanent. It's just going to be annoyingly long, but we will get there.
Yeah, we will.
Right, and I just want to put on the record again, thank you to you both. I'm just going to drop you both backstage while I do the end, and then I'll be into chat. Thank you both very much. Right, let me just do this and this. Right, guys, thank you all for watching. I can see the chat has been excellent again. I want to thank both Russ and Rob and anyone who's been on this show so far. It's not a show. I hate it when people call it a show. It's just a stream. I'm not a TV presenter. We're going to be on our 10th one tomorrow because I've 100% got 2 guests for tomorrow, and you are going to want to stay and watch them and the lads on Thursday as well. I'll be taking Wednesday off unless someone who can only make a stream on a Wednesday is going to be on. So what I want to say is thank you all for watching. Thank you all for being active in the comments. What I would like to say is, and this is not for my own channel's promotion, I want to get as many of the guys in the retro game community watching these streams, interacting with each other. So if any of you put a video out, if you could just mention it, get more people watching, that would be great. And as always, thanks for watching. Take it easy. Stay safe.